Got Troy Kwan sitting in for the interview because first of all, he saw the movie the other day, and he's a big Beach Boys fan, believe it or not.
Huge Beach Boys fan.
I'll say.
Did you listen to that Murray Wilson audio from earlier?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't that bad, but he's definitely the stories that are in Brian Wilson's book are pretty crazy.
All lies.
Like what?
Well, like I mentioned yesterday, like
shitting on the paper.
Yeah, his dad used to make him shit on
But how
newspapers.
old?
Wait, what? Like a cat?
Yeah.
How old
and
is he? 16, 17?
I think even younger than that. I want to say like preteens.
What, 13?
Yeah, like
Dad makes
12.
shit on the paper?
Yeah, and I believe it was in front of everybody.
Why?
Where's
Why?
the John Cusack?
Who knows?
They're getting him.
Oh, okay.
Really wants it.
That was great. You looked around like he might be hiding behind you.
I thought it might be. Big guy, practicing karate. Maybe he's going to put me in a sleeper hole.
He is 6'3". What other stories? We heard the shitting story yesterday. We know he blew out his Brian Wilson's eardrum by giving him a good beating. Here's John Cusack. Oh my God, he looks ready to rock.
Hey guys.
Hey John, welcome.
How are you?
Hey, how you doing, Dan?
Johnny.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you again, John Cusack.
Jim.
What's up, man? Troy.
That's Troy Kwan, big Beach Boys fan. Opie,
right.
good to see you again.
How are you?
You were in for Edgar Allan Poe, which movie we enjoyed.
I know, but somebody didn't like me saying the Godfather of Goth.
He didn't like that.
Yeah, I heard. I know. You guys
I didn't mind
it. That's all right.
This mic doesn't-
We noticed that you said Godfather of Goth on a lot of interviews. So
All
then
right,
we
so I won't say anything I've said before, even though I've been.
No,
talking
that's okay.
about
But
the
we were
movie.
trying to figure out if Brian Wilson was the Godfather or something, and we failed miserably trying to put this bit together before you got there.
How about Mozart of rock and roll?
Oh,
That's all right. Yes,
It's been used before. It's not mine,
right, but it works.
but I think it's kind of true.
Yeah, Love and Mercy. We saw it 2 days ago. First of all, loved the film.
Well, that makes this a nicer conversation.
No,
I'm glad.
And I liked Edgar Allan Poe. We just goofed on one little thing.
I know. I'm
Okay,
kidding.
all right.
I'm kidding. Don't
And
have
the
thin skin.
And the New York paper is giving it great reviews. So congratulations on the film.
Oh, right on, man.
You got to be happy about that because you're going against a lot of blockbusters this summer.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they used to put out movies that didn't have a lot of kind of boys and toys, blow up
Yeah.
action movies and big epic things. But this is just a film about a
genius.
an important kind of American person.
We just played audio too of his real dad this morning of
Murray.
and he's drunk, but he didn't sound that crazy. I mean, unless it was just one clip. But I'm sure you've heard it. The audio of they're in the studio.
Help Me, Rhonda.
Help Me, Rhonda. And the father's like, all right, you got to do this a little better. You got to do that a little better.
Come on, guys. You got a beautiful song here.
Yeah,
Yeah. It was he's had such a huge, sweeping life, and I think it's kind of interesting when I've talked about it with people like when I made like High Fidelity or the Record Store Geeks, right? The guys who are the cultural snobs.
Yeah.
Even the book in England that we adapted it from, they couldn't agree on anything. They would fight about everything except Brian Wilson was in all these three of these guys' top 5 lists with Pet Sounds, right?
Right.
And I don't think people sort of know that this is the guy that was blowing the Beatles' minds.
Right.
And he was influencing the Beatles. And when you think about the Beatles and like George Martin and the two songwriters like Lennon and McCartney, kind of good.
Yeah.
Right? And all the rest of them. And then there was just this one guy in California with the Beach Boys on tour who was doing all of it. And
By himself.
No
real writing partner.
And yeah, and he was just like hearing all this stuff and then visualizing this stuff. And then he had to mic every instrument and the tubas and the violins and all that stuff.
So Rubber Soul, he thinks they took from the Beach Boys.
I think it was sort of like a version of a mutual respect arms race.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a weird thing.
Because then Brian Wilson's like, we got to do better than Rubber Soul now.
Yeah, like,
and the rest of the
it
band wasn't interested because they wanted to do their surfing summer pop songs.
Yeah, and one of the things that's kind of interesting about Brian is that he was such a explorer and a kind of conjurer, and he was so unformatted. Like he wasn't, and he, before the surf music came out, no one had invented that thing. And right now it seems like it's a little bit of a cliche and it's all been in our DNA for so long. But before it came out and before it was there, that was his. And
that was very unique.
And all those harmonies and what they were singing about were like Crosby, Stills, and Nash would be like, wait a minute, I give up. I could never do that. Like they're just throwing off these 7-part harmonies between these brothers. But then as they went on, he wanted to really explore new territories. And if you're doing work that's that intense and that beautiful, and the guys come back off the road, and people are like, "Why is this? What's this sad stuff? Like, where are the hits?" Mm-hmm. And do what you already did,
right?
But not just like
they were satisfied,
not like us. Someone saying, "Hey, look, stick to what you're good at." Right?
Yeah.
Go on. But somebody who's that much of a genius.
Well, Bruce Bryan
wasn't being appreciated while it was there.
I was just going to say it proves Brian Wilson was a genius because he was done with that, and the rest of the band's like, no, it's working. Why not ride it to the end? And he's like, who cares? I got so much else going on in my head, and I think it could be commercially successful. How many?
The other thing to remember is that when that came out, it was sort of not seen. It was like he was disappointed.
I did not know that until I saw your film. I thought Pet Sounds was everyone loved right away.
And the whole idea that everybody's supposed to know right away if something's an instant classic or right, you don't. Sometimes it takes people a while to figure out if something's cool or great, and it takes time, or because he was so ahead of his time.
Right.
But I remember there was a documentary I watched, and the manager of the Rolling Stones, who was like some big guy, took a full-page ad out in the London Music Express saying Pet Sounds is the most greatest revolutionary album ever written. And everyone was like, what the hell's going on? This guy's not even associated with them. Mm-hmm. So it was, we take it for granted because all this stuff's in our DNA now. But, you have to remember a time before it was there, before anyone had put orchestral music and rock and roll.
Well, that led to the Beatles doing Sgt. Pepper.
And when you hear the Smile Sessions, have you heard that record?
I have, yeah. It's amazing.
Troy has.
It's incredible. It's a masterpiece.
You can hear everything that happens for the next 50 years in that record in a weird way. And you can hear Sgt. Pepper's.
Yeah, I mean, that's the interesting part is, with Good Vibrations, in the movie they discuss like, okay, going to one studio and then going to a different studio to record. And I guess that's what he had tried doing with Smile, is just putting all these fragments together like he did with Good Vibrations, and then he couldn't do it.
His brain exploded.
Yeah.
No, I think what happened was the record was all done, and he had sung on it. And the Smile Sessions that they released, I think in 2008, I might be wrong, but it won Grammys in 2012 and stuff. But it was all done, and all he needed was the Beach Boys to come sing on it. And it was a masterpiece. And it is a masterpiece. Just because Brian and his guys were doing the vocals. So you don't know what it would have sounded like with Mike Love and Al Jardine and all the rest of the guys on it. But it was perfect. And Van Dyke Parks was writing the lyrics with him. And they came off the road, and they were like, what is this? This is like some airy-fairy, weird, this is too esoteric and out there. Like, we make hits. Like, we're the number one band. I think Brian just said, I'm going to go to fucking bed. You think it's so easy, you guys do it. And he checked out.
How much time?
I think it broke his heart. But it was not that he couldn't finish the album. I think it was just that they wanted to keep him in his box, and he was an explorer. He was a conjurer.
How much time did you spend with him?
I was really lucky because I got to spend a lot more time with him because Paul Dano, who's great in the movie.
Oh, amazing. As the young Brian Wilson.
Yeah, he's like an amazing actor. And
right.
But that part of his life was so well chronicled. It was kind of like the Beatles. Like they were always on tour. They were making 2 records a year. Mm-hmm. And that period when he sort of removed himself from public life and went into the abyss, he was just like gone. And you don't know where sort of the facts ends and legend begins. So I didn't really know much to go. I didn't have much to go on except for some biographies that had been written that were kind of more like lore. So, I said, hey, it would be helpful if I could hang out with you. But they were great. But the cool thing about it is, like when you go into Brian's house, it's like this happy house. There's like dogs running around and there's kids. It's like, hey, Brian, someone's here. It's Cusack. He wants to, tell him to come up to the music room. And it's like you realize like
it's pretty awesome.
That he fucking won. He got through it all.
Right.
So he wasn't detached or anything? He was kind of present with you? Because there's this reputation that he just zones out sometimes, but he wasn't like that with you?
You know what I think it is? It's like with Dylan or any of these guys who have these antennas that are so intense. So like when you're talking to him, he just sort of, he looks at you and he's listening to you, but he's also like just feeling the vibe. Like, is there any, what's this guy's agenda? He wants to just feel like if you, he feels the emotions more than the words. But he's also been so famous since he was like 17 or 18, and that I think he's just tired of answering questions about his creative process because it's mysterious to him.
How many?
So he's just sort of. I think he just sort of is like, oh, what's up?
Talk about something else. He'll probably be interested, like whatever sport he likes, or
He probably gets bored quickly because he's heard it all.
Yeah,
If you're
yeah.
that famous and you got people around you all the time, they're probably asking the same exact question.
And everybody wants to, and everyone has such an intense reaction to his music that they come in like kind of shaky and needy or like moved. And sometimes it just must be a little too much for somebody because he's more of a private guy and more of an introspective person.
How many years was the band around before Pet Sounds?
God, I wouldn't know these.
Do you know, Troy?
They started about 62, I
So
believe.
they had about 4 years, 3 or 4 years of just success, and then that's when
But,
Brian
like-
Wilson wanted to pretty much blow it up and go, well, like the Beatles, though. I mean, the Beatles had all those poppy hits and then decided to go a lot deeper with their music.
But I think they went deeper from their music based on what Brian was doing.
That's what we're learning through Love and Mercy, or I did anyway.
Because I was amazed at the amount of really kind of bright people who were interested in like culture and rock and roll who had sort of forgotten their contribution. I mean, George Martin said when Smile came out, and this is a guy who was producing Lennon and McCartney, he said, Brian Wilson is the greatest all-around composer, singer, songwriter, producer in the history of, in this century.
do you think McCartney sees Brian Wilson as an equal?
Absolutely.
Well, McCartney said that God Only Knows was the greatest song ever written.
And when Brian finally, triumphantly kind of came back and he couldn't even think about Smile for so long. He wouldn't even talk about it. And then one day, Melinda said, he just went down. He was, with some friends, and they said, "Why don't you play Heroes and Villains?" And he was just like, "I've been in," and he just started playing it one day because I think he was happy and all that stuff. So, but it was a huge thing for him to actually confront that and
come
play
back to it.
and play it live. And when he did, McCartney was in the front row weeping.
Oh, wow.
So people who know the score know,
Right.
and you can hear these. There's a great documentary by Don Was called "I Just Wasn't Made for These Times." It's an hour, black and white, super cool, and you can see all these heavyweights talking about Brian.
Oh, I gotta check that out.
It's really cool.
Is there video of him playing that song when he first played it, or no? Where was that?
At the Royal Albert Hall.
Oh, that's what that was. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's when they did Smile start to finish, correct?
Yeah, and that was the first time he'd played it because he played it for the Beach Boys when they came back off tour, and they didn't like it, and then he just couldn't. He just went silent, I guess. And,
Can you talk about Brian Wilson's father? We started with that a little bit, but
sorry, yeah.
Oh no, no. I don't. This is great so far. But Murray, like he really was abusive to all the kids, and where was the mom in all this?
I think it was like that version, or the way I sort of think about it, it was, California was, you come all the way across the country, and you sort of better make it there because if you don't make it there, you've run out of continent. You know what I mean, right? So, but it was like this very bucolic place.
It's a great way to look at it. You have nowhere else to go.
Yeah, like everybody moves
ocean
up.
or something.
Yeah,
You could go to Catalina maybe for a little while.
Or you go up to Alaska, right?
yeah.
And become a grizzly man, right?
Right.
Or a fisherman, or
That's
or
probably
just get
happened a
into
lot.
the wilderness.
Yeah.
But so I think there was that it was that post-war boom, but it was also I think it was a place where the family and it was a strange thing, but I think the father was a musician and a songwriter, but he couldn't.
He failed.
He failed.
He was a failed musician in the end.
We heard the many moods of Murray Wilson, and we
played a
thought
few.
it was a hit and uplifting. We played some of it yesterday. It was really a delightful instrumental.
We really did a lot of research on Murray yesterday. We were obsessed with it for a bit.
obsessed with Murray.
But
is it Murray or Murray?
I think it's Murray.
Okay.
Murray.
I think he was a real authoritarian, like a real pretty tough guy, and I think that there was physical abuse, and Brian was such a kind of sensitive soul that I think when he went to a record store and he heard this band called the Four Freshmen, and he went to this thing with like listening station. They used to have it in like the Woolworths or whatever, and he said he heard that, and he just all the bullshit kind of just poured out of him, and he sort of had like, he heard a version of Salvation, and then he just got so interested, and he went back to his piano, and he would just start to play until he could play every song that he heard on that record. And he was a guy who would like, he loved Phil Spector, so he said they would wake up in the morning and he'd have like he would just play "Be My Baby," like put huge speakers up and just lay on the ground. And his kids say, spoke to Carney and his kids, and he said, it's not like he did that some of the time. He did that every day.
Like a little obsessive.
Yeah, like he just wanted to immerse himself in it and try to figure out how did he do that or what am I hearing.
And they ended up firing him as the manager, the father, right?
Yeah.
What year was that? Do you know offhand? Or
Boy.
Were they already successful at that point, or were they still kind of on their way?
No, they were
pretty big.
Yeah, they were big.
And what was the reason? They just couldn't deal with the father anymore?
I think it was like they'd outgrown him, and Brian was so clearly Brian was already surpassing and equaling Phil Spector, and he was already he was a master. I mean, you have to imagine a guy like 24, 25, 23, 26 years old, if you call in like 50 top musicians and symphony orchestra people and the Wrecking Crew, and you go, okay, you're going to play this part. No one knows what it's adding up to, but you hear all that in your head, and you say, okay, so third trombone in the middle, 1 inch, move it 1 inch to the left. You guys, you are shaking the tambourine. Don't take the tambourine. It doesn't sound that way. Oh, okay, wait. The violin, second note here. Don't hit it. Don't hit it so hard. You got to make it ache. You got to make it cry. Now, give me the tambourine. Take out some keys. Jingle them. No, just make it sound like jewelry. And then the guy's like, yeah, and he goes, okay, that sounds good. All right, let's make it.
Yeah.
He's hearing all.
Jeez.
So it's like, what was
and
with
only
half his hearing
only
gone?
one
That's
ear.
what's pretty
so
impressive.
what was Murray going to do? I mean, what was.
Marty's trying to manage that.
First of all, that came across brilliantly in the film. What you just described here on our show, brilliantly in the movie.
Paul and Bill had killed that part of it.
And no, the point is, I get why he had to move on from his father, but it is his father that he's firing, or the band is firing. So that's got to be a little crazy.
I think it might be like even like if a boxer, somebody who's managing his own son and doesn't thinks he knows what's best for him, but
usually it's the father goes, you know what, I'm over my head now. I did what I can here.
I think it was real competitive, and I think he was like a little bit jealous and all that. But then weirdly, Brian, then when he felt the family and stuff was so intense, he ended up having another kind of abusive father figure in the psychiatrist.
That's what I'm moving on to, Eugene. Yeah. I forgot all about Eugene until I saw Love and Mercy. I forgot that this guy was controlling Brian Wilson for how many years? He went away for a little while, and then they brought him back.
It was like
it was about 10 years.
Yeah, it was 10 years of hell for Brian. But
and you know why Eugene came into the picture at first?
Again, it gets back to that weird LA thing, which is like, LA's cool because it might be like some of the coolest things start there, but it's also like a frontier town full of fucking hustlers and desert crazies.
Snake oil
so
salesman.
it's the only place where like the Source restaurant guy could start a cult. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So it was like the Est. I don't know. It was the A. No one thought cocaine was dangerous. It was like so there were all these like life coaches, and I think he was just this opportunistic hustler.
And he got a hold of him.
He got a hold of everything.
And he's played brilliantly by Paul Giamatti.
Yeah, there's a great, if you guys want to ever see, like, if you like the movie, and it sounds like you did, and you want to see his comeuppance, which you don't really get to see in the movie as much as you sort of want to, because you sort of want to really, you want to see the guy 6 feet under. I hate to say it, but is Diane Sawyer does an interview with him, like right as he's like getting out the door, right when Melinda's, pulling him out of it. And she basically calls him out, and you can see the guy just crumble on camera. It's pretty extraordinary.
It's on
YouTube.
That today.
Wow.
Yeah, you guys.
It's on
you'll
YouTube.
like it. Yeah, you'll like it.
But I'm convinced Paul Giamatti has to be kind of that guy when he's not acting, because he's so damn good at it.
No, man, are you crazy?
Do you see the 12 Years a Slave?
I know, but
I played a serial killer, and I'm not.
and you're a nice guy, and you did that well. But Eugene got a hold of him, drugged him up. Made him try to do music and all that. He decided he could be a producer as well, right?
He was sitting on his lap, and he was telling him, I'm a writer with him, and he was doing things like Hot Red Car, Fast Red Car, and it was like Eugene Landy's album. He was making albums with Brian, making him play, because at the time Brian just didn't know what his rights were, and Landy said that your wife and everybody signed away your rights, and I'll put you in a mental institution, and like I have your care. And he just
and Brian believed all that.
He was just too fragile to know. He was trying to figure out, get his foot back in reality. And this guy said, "I'm your authority, and I'm telling you you're sick." And he has to keep taking these drugs. He's misdiagnosed, and then he was drugging him up. So I'm sure he must have. I mean, look, if a doctor had put you on the 60 milligrams of Valium and lithium where you didn't need lithium, what would you think?
Yeah,
right.
Did Brian hate him, or did he think that he was saving him?
You know what's so awesome about Brian? He's so much better than us, right? He doesn't talk shit about anybody. He doesn't have a bad word to say about anybody.
Well, that proves
even this guy.
That proves he's crazy.
No,
Yeah.
It doesn't in a weird way, because he'll say, man, he'll say, you go, but Brian, it was terrible. He goes, oh, it was horrible. He'll tell you how he felt.
So it's
But
never
he'll
about
say-
that guy. Oh, okay.
He's just not.
Well, Eugene said,
He's above it.
Eugene said, I influence all of Brian's thinking. I'm practically a member of the band. We're partners in life.
Delusional.
Wow.
And then that leads to Melinda, who pretty much saved Brian Wilson's life.
Absolutely, and Melinda, and also the woman who takes care of their house, Gloria, who's in the movie.
Yes.
I talked to her because I had to find out like what was the deal with this stuff, and they wanted me to, so I didn't feel like I was prying. They wanted to kind of tell it. She would say to him, hey, give him some more vitamins, and they had all these handlers, and they say, well, Brian wants to go outside. He said he wants to see his kids, or he wants to do anything. He goes, okay, give him more. So he'd like punitively give stuff to Gloria to give him. And finally, when she would speak out, she, I think, he's having too much medicine. He feels really sick by what you're giving him. She said, give him more. And she used to squirrel off and keep it. And so then Landy said, I'm going to deport you. And if you say a word, and she said, oh, okay. Well, and she had a huge jar. She goes, here's one bottle of the stuff. This is just some of the stuff that you were over-medicating with. And I have another one I'll give to the police. So just go ahead and report me. That was kind of when Melinda was. But Melinda and Gloria, I think, saved his life for sure.
And was it just a coincidence? Brian Wilson walked into a car dealership one day, and that's how he met Melinda?
Yeah, he wanted to get a car. And
they fell in love.
yeah.
I guess when you're Brian Wilson and you're buying a car, it's easy to meet a girl.
Yeah.
And they're still together to this day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they ended up having 5 kids together. But she was the reason why they were able to get Brian Wilson away from Eugene.
So were you talking to him like because you're going to play the guy? You don't want to sit down and do a formal interview. How are you getting information, or like would he say something and you go like, no, I really want to know more about that. Like how deep did you go when you were asking stuff, or how did you find stuff out?
Well, it was delicate, but they wanted the movie to get done, and they wanted like kind of a factual version of their life there. And I think he wants to try to shape his legacy so that it's not just kind of rumor and stuff. So, and he wanted to, and I think he also feels like some of the drugs and whether he took as a young person, was harmful to him. And so, and I think he also realized that he had a little bit of a mental health issue that he had to deal with. And I think the drugs Landy gave him probably did more damage than the stuff he did in the 60s. That's just me.
The LSD and
that's
everything.
Just me thinking. That's just me talking. Like,
I bet
that's
you're
just,
right.
But that's my opinion. But I think he also thinks that, there's a stigma if you have a mental health issue, that if he would have been treated properly, and he wouldn't have been ashamed of it. So I think he thinks that it's a good thing to come out, so people, stop stigmatizing people who have some mental health issues.
Did he?
So I talked to him, and he was very open about it. And he's very cool. Sometimes you can talk to him and hang out with him for a long while, and sometimes he'll be just like, okay, and he'll talk to you for a while, and he'll just get up and go. And he has his own.
Then you're sitting in the room with a coffee for 15 minutes. I think that's the end of our hang. Guy coming back in.
But I wasn't sort of like I was cool because I wasn't interviewing him, and,
right.
And you get a feel for him that he just doesn't want to he doesn't want people up in his grill like needing stuff.
Did you notice him become more comfortable the more and more you were hanging out? Like, could you see him let down the guard? And
I think after a while he gets to the interesting thing about him is that everybody around him now, like even Darius and the people in his band now, they all sort of came together because of his music, and none of them are doing that for a job. They all love, so he's got people around him who get the joke. They love him. They love his legacy. They love his music. and they give him space, and he's cool, you know. So he doesn't have people around him where there's any weird vibes coming at him, you know. And that's how it should be. That's what he needed.
What does he think of Kokomo?
I don't know. You mean like Cocoa Puffs?
Kokomo,
The song Kokomo.
the big hit that the band had without him.
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. What do they think of the Full House?
Exactly. How's he with the rest of? How's he with the band these days?
I don't. I think.
I mean, Mike Love doesn't come across that well in your movie.
That was great.
Love and Mercy.
He kind of comes across a little bit of a shithead, which he
prick.
is.
Yeah, maybe.
Have you heard from Mike Love yet?
No, but I did. Brian came by the set with Al Jardine, so I mean, I think that. I think Brian's good with everybody, but he's just, he's
doing his own thing.
He just basically, he doesn't bullshit. So, he's going to tell you whatever he thinks, and even if it's how he feels that day, and if he changes how he feels the next day, he'll tell you what he feels that day. But he doesn't really have an agenda. He's just sort of an open, beautiful guy.
The music, you're probably going to ask the same. The music in the movie, is it original tracks? Like, is it from, what is it?
Atticus Ross did the sonics of it, and what was beautiful about it is he used the stems from the Smile and the Pet Sound Sessions. And
what are stems?
Stems are like
little pieces.
Like mixed
I guess
down,
that
so
would be a track, but I guess it's like just if you can separate the oboe and whatever they've recorded that they keep layering on top of each other. There's one little stem of it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Maybe that's not the technical term.
Are you using any original Beach Boys tracks from the old days?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the soundtrack is all
because at
Brian
times you
recordings.
couldn't tell, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the acting was done so well.
Yeah, ridiculous. There's a couple scenes in Love and Mercy where we saw it in a tiny little theater, viewing theater, whatever, and you could feel everyone stop breathing. There was a couple scenes where people stopped. You could feel the room
Which one?
The hamburger scene.
The hamburger scene.
That was rough.
And this the scene where you realize how fucked up the father was, and also a third scene when he's
when he was trying to leave and he couldn't leave with Melinda.
Yeah.
When
that was and then
Giamatti was like,
yes,
He was in a control room.
yeah,
That was rough.
there was a few. There were a few where there was dead silence in the theater, and you almost feel like everyone's holding their breath. And then the one where Brian Wilson is just studying the studio.
And the
Just
musicians are in
studying
the corner.
over and over again, and the musicians are just in the corner waiting for Brian to say, what's going down for that day.
Yeah, and I also love when he just starts to play the piano again, and then he goes back into that studio that he did all that stuff in. And we were shooting in the studios where we recorded all those things, so it was very special, I think. So I think it was great that the producer and the director and everybody who was there understood. Hey, we have it's not going to be. There's no definitive portrait of anybody because we have two actors playing him, so we know we're admitting that. But everybody wanted to get it right.
Did he have a play in who actually played him? Did he?
No, I don't think he got into it that way. I think he just sort of wanted to give the music, and I think he let it go. He let other people.
You nailed the voice.
Yeah,
You nailed it.
Thank you. Well, I was happy because the people around him who have known him for a long time.
Yeah.
Said that part of his life that I seem to get the essence of him. In a good
Absolutely,
way.
you did. So the movie's just terrific, and it's getting great reviews. Love and Mercy. Trying to think if we covered everything.
I have a question about karate.
Sure.
Do you still take it?
Do I still take karate?
Yeah. You're a martial artist, right?
I don't take it.
Well, yeah. I don't know what the proper term is. I'm not a physical guy.
I just kept thinking, do you know karate? I don't know karate, but I know crazy.
What is it you
James
take?
Brown.
Yeah.
You ever see him singing with Pavarotti? That's a great video.
Who? James
Brown and Pavarotti do It's a Man's World.
No, that's not true. Is it?
It's 100% true. I would never lie to you. I lie to you about a lot of things, but not that.
What have you lied to me about?
Nothing so far. We haven't talked enough. I mean, as time went on, I would lie to you a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah. But no, that's a great video. Pavarotti would have people come in and sing, like these giant singers. They would do these charity shows, and and one of them was.
You want to give him just a taste?
Well, just for a second.
A second, because
could I-
John Cusack is a very busy man. But just give him a
Not really, actually. No.
This is a man's world.
James Brown and Pavarotti. There
Where's
it is.
Pavarotti? I don't
This
believe
is a
it.
man's
Well, you'll see him. He takes up a lot of the screen.
That's
just want to hear Pavarotti for a
But it
sec.
wouldn't be nothing
See, now that's the thing.
Nothing.
It's weird. It's weirder than you can imagine.
without a woman or a girl.
But it's not as crazy. It was because it was a series of things that Pavarotti did for Dennis Charity.
I want to hear him sing it.
Well, how about he
Yeah, he
gives
will. He does in a
Pavarotti a
second.
chance?
He does.
All right. Sorry.
It's James Brown's song.
Getting angry.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's Pavarotti's set.
I think the status is about right. It should be James and Pavarotti backing him up.
I don't know. You can tell they like each other.
He's going to sing the whole song.
No, he does a good part. Then fucking Pavarotti bumbles him with his fucking foreign talk. No one understands what he's singing.
My Bible said Noah made the ark. This is amazing.
I think he's getting ready.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
He's gearing up.
He's gearing up.
Fucking past the wand.
And that's Ashley Judd by his side?
Is that? I don't know.
All right, here it is, right?
Nope. More James.
More James.
More James.
All right.
This is my favorite thing ever.
It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
It's like the best.
It's awesome. Effortless, right?
Yeah.
God.
Oh, that guy had a voice.
I think he did.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
I think we got a rap. I just heard.
I can't do that. I'm not a good musical person. Oh shit, pop lock. So, how long have you been taking martial arts?
Since I was a kid, like 18.
Oh wow,
17.
okay. So
I've been
you're
doing
really
it for
good.
like 30 years.
Wow, okay. And you were really a 6-degree black belt?
I don't know. I mean, I guess like, if he says I was.
It was in the prep sheet. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
no,
I think that's
I
really
think Benny the Jet. I did a movie in China where I got a call, which I thought was too funny to pass up. They're like, Jackie Chan wants you to come out to the Gobi Desert and do a big fight scene with Jackie Chan. So I took Benny the Jet out there, and we went and did a whole thing with Jackie. So it was pretty fun because I based one of the fights I did in one of my movies, Grosse Point Blank, on a fight that Jackie and Benny the Jet did in a thing called Meals on Wheels. So yeah, I have been doing martial arts for a while. And
What's your favorite fight scene ever, martial arts in a film?
Meals on Wheels with Jackie Chan and Benny the Jet.
Oh, that is it.
That was my favorite. Yeah.
Which fight scene in Grosse Point Blank was
The one where I fight the guy in the hallway, and that was
Yeah.
was Benny the Jet. That
Okay.
was-
Yeah, at the
that's
reunion.
Guy, yeah, that's the guy that he was Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan. He was probably one of the best who's ever.
Oh, that's
lived.
crazy. I didn't know that was based on another fight scene.
Yeah,
Because I enjoyed that fight scene so much in the movie that's nuts to know that was an ode to another thing.
that was an ode to the one that Benny did with Jackie Chan, because they basically just went to the Hong Kong style where they just went and did everything themselves with no stuntmen and just basically beat the shit out of each other.
So they really fought. That's just what it was,
Pretty
basically.
much. And that's what we did in Grosse Point Blank.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Why'd you take it? Were you getting beaten up at all, or do you just wanted to take it? Because I've always wanted to take it just so I don't get beaten up. I'm tired of avoiding eye contact with real men on the subway.
I like it because, I just think that most people are can be very passive aggressive, right? And especially in Hollywood, they triangulate and they're doing their thing. And so I think if you want to fight, let's fight and just do it, and then let's just get on with things.
Have you used it at all like that?
No.
But you wanted it.
You don't have to because you learn how to do it. But it's an art. It's a kind of a physical game.
That's great. One too many casting directors was shitty. He's like, I'm going to learn how to really fucking break a neck.
It also helps he's 6'3", so people aren't
Yeah,
messing
you're
with
a
him
big
to
dude.
begin with.
No, but it's just the vibe of it is like when you do martial arts, you're afraid if I'm going to physically confront you, right? That's kind of like the bottom line of fear or anger. So what's going to happen is if you're going to fight with somebody or spar with somebody, you're afraid of two things. You're afraid you're going to be an absolute coward, like you're going to cry and say, I need my mommy, and cower.
Right.
Or you're going to lose control and black out with rage and lose control that way. So
See, I didn't know that the rage thing was an option. The first one is always the one I chose.
But that's what people are afraid of. So when you bring up the stuff it's like being an actor. You dredge up stuff that's in you already, and you have to just deal with it. But then it's also a good release, and I just like the athletic.
Yeah, I always wish I took it. I always admire people who take it.
We got to get him
It's
out
not
of
about it's not about really fighting. It's more about Just,
Right. It's,
Discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want to see this movie. I'm disappointed I didn't see it. They only had a 6 p.m. showing, which I couldn't make, but these guys have been raving about it.
It
for
really
2
is a
days.
great flick. John Cusack, Love and Mercy is going to do very well for you, sir.
Thank you. It's nice to be back here.
And, so far so good for your Blackhawks. Ugh.
Yeah, I think there is a hurricane coming to Florida, and there will be no lightning. That was a terrible one.
Wait a minute, that almost sounds like a
Do you
hockey
know what
talk.
it's like when you have to do do you know when you have to do like a press thing? It's like you have to try to think of something to say that you're going to
soundbite?
Yeah, right. It's
Like the Godfather of Goth?
Yeah, man. It's tough. It's tough.
All right.
But you're right, though. It's like, but there's not many forums you can come in and just talk and not have to worry about. When you're doing a 4-minute interview, it's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, you just got to talk about the film real quick and then move on. People, a 7-minute junket, it's kind of hard. Would you be real quick before we go? Robert Downey Jr. when he walked out on that interview with that guy in England, did you see that?
No.
Because the guy was asking him personal questions. I was just wondering what you thought about that, like in a junket, but I won't do it.
I don't know. I haven't really.
Yeah, if you didn't see it, it won't make sense. I just thought maybe you saw it.
Yeah. All right. Let's get John Cusack out of here. We're going to take a break. Thanks, John.
You're kicking me out.
No, there's
Oh, God. We'd love to. Are you kidding? Just getting started. Hey, Travis, thanks for that clip, because it just reminded me that we want to try that stuff from Anthony Bourdain. What was the name of it? Do you know offhand?
Hakarl?
Hot Carl on your chest.
No, we've already done that.
There's something that Anthony Bourdain, he just talked about in that clip, but I was only half listening. It's so bad that even when you open up the can, it just fucks up the room for a while.
Oh, yeah.
What's it called?
Pussy!
Pussy!
Hey.
That's delightful.
After that pleasant mood that John Cusack brought with him.
He's a very zen guy.
I was telling Opie that, what a fucking nice guy. He's the first person that's ever asked me how I'm doing, and I really believed he meant it.
He didn't mean it.
I know. But God damn it.
He just knows how to make it look like it's
He's
real.
an actor.
He's an actor.
Oh, Dan, you're so naive.
You just want to be loved.
I have to announce Caroline's is on sale now.
Whoa!
September 17th through 19th. It went on sale. And why would anybody let me know? No one told me it went on sale, so it's on sale now. I had no idea the on sale was happening, and I got the Borgata in July. If you want to come see me,
That was one of my favorite weekends that Caroline's was opening for you.
I forgot you did that.
That was fun.
You're going to be at the crossroads of the world, I think.
I am September 17th. I'm doing less shows than last time. Same money, less shows. So, so hopefully it will sell out. It's sold I usually sell very well there. But no one decided to fucking tell me that it was on sale.
right.
So I guess I'm just supposed to guess.
You'll be all right.
Nah, but you should always know when things are on sale.
Shit happens, though. They make bumper stickers that say shit happens. You should get one for your car.
No, Jim. I think you take this all the way to the top.
Yeah, well, I should know when it's on sale.
You're right.
It's on my end, not Caroline's end.
Let's get a shit happens poster for your bedroom so you understand that.
I know shit happens. I put that fucking sticker on my career because it's shit.
Stop it.
Oh, Jim.
Stop
Oh,
it.
Jimmy. What's the name of that stuff? And I want to try
I
them.
told you already.
I'm trying to force out a fart. I'm sorry. I
thought you were joking when you said
cum
hot
joke.
Carl.
No, Hakarl.
Oh, I thought you said hot Carl.
What did Carl say that's so funny?
There it is.
Dude, Jim's going to be the greatest old man. He's going to be the fucking great. When the lines blur between characters where it's just Chip, I'm like, for a whole day.
That was Jim.
Yeah,
that was
know.
too awful for Chip. That was actually Jim. Y'all keep mentioning my name and I'll kick your goddamn butts.
Edgar.
I ain't Edgar, stupid.
See, this is why it's going to make him great. It's also going to be the most confusing thing for the Filipino nurse taking care of
It
him.
ain't confusing for nobody. Your girlfriend's bedding down another man. She's bedding a colored boy. I was going to download Smile, by the way, while we were talking to our...
I got to check it out.
Yeah, now I want to go get it on my...
Wait, what was that other thing you turned us on to that I want to watch? The
karate
the
movie?
documentary.
The Don Was documentary.
Yeah.
On,
I met
I was
Don
there.
Was. I didn't know who I didn't know who he was. I got a picture with him at a bass players thing that I hosted. I hosted like 2 years ago this bass player award show only because Geezer was getting a Lifetime Achievement Award. It was a clusterfuck, the whole thing. But somebody introduced me to Don Was. I didn't know who he was.
He's pretty famous
We said
producer.
Was a whole bunch of times. We laughed.
Hot Carl.
Carl.
Travis was right.
Say it again.
I thought he was goofing with us and said hot Carl, which is a little different. Isn't that shit on your chest or something?
Oh, yeah.
Is a national dish of Iceland. consisting of a shark, which has been cured with particular fermentation and hung to dry for 4 to 5 months. It's just fish fucking hanging for 5 months. It's an acquired taste. Anthony Bourdain told us it's brutal. It's fucking brutal.
I fucking love Anthony Bourdain.
We want to know how we get this in Manhattan so we could try it on the show. Can we write this down and do this?
Can you reach out to Bourdain? He knows where all that cool shit is.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we tried to find
Why are
it,
you asking?
and we weren't.
Dude, Anthony Bourdain's awesome.
I love Anthony
Have
Bourdain.
you been here when he's here?
No.
He's a very good interview. He'll talk about anything. He's great.
He's seen he's seen
I'm just
the
a
world.
huge-
so
I was just a
he's got a million stories.
Yeah, I was a huge fan of No Reservation.
Wasn't Voss and Bonnie on a show last
They
week?
were, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't care for us that much, but
Oh.
It has a very particular ammonia rich smell and fishy taste. Oh my God. We got to get that stuff. Who do we talk to get this stuff?
Bourdain.
He's busy being a big star, an international star.
That's why he can get you the fucking weird shark stuff.
I think he said that we could mail away for it or something. You're going to take this upon yourself, Adrian?
Adrian.
You got to get the hot Carl for us.
Carl.
That's your job. I just gave you a job. And if you can't do it, you just got to let me know you can't do it. Don't blow it off.
You just say you can't do it.
Just say, please, I can't do this shit.
Just say you can't
I believe in
do
you,
it.
Adrian.
Yeah, well, you're going to be disappointed because Adrian is the mayor of Flop City.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I forgot that we were talking about that off air.
Boom, 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 boom. You're telling people you could have been the greatest. Boom, boom.
I was saying I have no
boom
musical
guy?
talent, but if I was born fucking 70 years ago, I could have been in one of those bands where I just go boom, 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 and been a fucking millionaire.
You do got the voice for it.
It would have been great. We were talking about it. I could have drank and smoked my whole life.
Are you bummed that style of music went away?
Just because I can't make money off it, yeah.
You were born in the wrong fucking
It really was,
time.
It was.
Boom, 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 boom.
I would have
boom,
killed
boom,
it. I would have had to have no training.
Would you just go basic, a boom, boom, or would
Yeah.
you really mix it up?
Well, then I just have to say other words too, like, I don't know. They always, what other goofy shit did they do in those barbershop quartet?
Boom, 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 boom,
And then it's all heavy lifting on the high voice guys. Because
Yeah.
all I got to do is just keep that tone going.
Yes, for the rest of the boys.
Yeah. And I come in like late because sometimes they start. Oh, it'd be fucking awesome.
All right, the boom boom guy never starts.
No, you just come in.
That's the second layer.
And you're like, oh, and then,
Boom,
yeah, and then everyone loves like the
boom,
Frankie
boom,
Valleys
boom,
and
boom.
shit.
You
But
might have to snap a little too. I think
that's fine. I could snap.
you can snap.
You guys are downers, man. I like the upbeat stuff.
No, you don't.
Oh, why,
yeah.
why do fools fall in love with heroin? Why do birds sing when I'm on heroin?
See, and no one caught me. I was completely under Jim's voice the entire time, giving it a bassy.
No, you're not doing that part. You're just-
Yeah, no, they do that part. They do
The
multiple
bum bum
parts.
guy.
The bum bum guy does a lot of shit. Yeah.
Where you do it like that.
And I'd snap and I'd be like,
This is literally the worst thing I've ever heard.
yeah, this is killing time.
This is
killing
called-
time.
This is called
me.
Get Us to 10:30.
Yeah, no, but it's 10:22. No, we got 8 minutes left to make magic, boys. Let's get in the old shop.
you guys-
Well, why
whip
don't
up
you-
some funny
this thing I've been-
stew.
this
Why don't
thing
you
I've
add
been
to our band? We got this going here, Jimmy.
Do a quartet or a three. What's a three? A trio.
A trio.
I could sing. Oh, no one told me Caroline's was on sale. Someone's getting fired, duda.
I want to know about. I've been reading it. I've been looking at this shit since I walked in here. But some kid asked a girl to prom.
Oh, Dan.
Oh, you naive.
Oh, you're
boy.
so naive. Why
Why am I naive? I've been reading this.
Why would you
Dan.
pick that one out of all the stuff?
Because
we could
that's
talk about?
fucking crippling. That guy's going to either be a great businessman or
Jimmy
a
and
school
I,
shooter.
or me and Jimmy. I like to say me and Jimmy.
I like Jimmy and I. It sounds
I don't like the
cultured.
Jimmy and I. I think that, I guess, is that the proper way? But everyone
that
just
is the
says
proper
me and
way.
Jimmy or me and Dan, whatever. We saw the video and immediately thought it was fake.
Oh, okay.
So you want to see it? Well, now that you brought it up, it's one of those radio things. If you bring something up, you really got to do it because it drives the people nuts out there.
Okay.
You got a guy in
These are rules I need to
Jersey. He's in front of some kind of pep rally, I would assume. Big football field, couple thousand people. And he takes that opportunity to ask a girl to the prom. You tell me what you think.
Jen, Melisvina, Is there any way you would want to come to prom with me?
I already have a date.
That's not fake. That's not fake.
It's fake.
That's not fake.
It's fake.
What?
Because
Sorry.
his acting is shitty. And then he goes, what? What?
Yeah, you just want to leave at that point. I already have a date. All right.
It's kind of romantic to ask a girl to the prom, right?
That story looked a lot better when it was just a sentence on a page.
But aren't you really just asking, I'm going to try to put my fingers in you by the end of the night?
Exactly. I'd like to play with your cunt on a beach.
I wasn't going to go to my senior prom, and then this girl was like...
But you wanted to try to get fingers into a pussy.
Yeah, and then we were at a baseball game, and this girl's like... Hey, if you take me to prom, we can mess around. And I was like, do you want to go to prom? And she's like, yeah, I'll go to prom. I was like,
is that how it went down?
I swear to God. And
That's great.
And then she fucked my friend because I was off doing drugs that night.
Oh, Dan.
I mean, I'm fine with it because I didn't want to, but it was so funny.
She wanted you,
No,
Dan.
there's no way she did. The way she said it was almost like, how can I go to prom? She's like, I'll let you fuck around with me. And I was like, oh, okay.
I'll talk to this fucking giant-headed guy. He'll take me.
This fucking Macy's Day float.
I'm guessing she was like a 5 or a 6.
No, she's like a solid.
That's perfect.
Solid low 8.
Low 8.
Yeah.
You're getting up there at that point.
Did she have sex with your friend the same night?
She messed around with my friend. I don't
During
think
the
they had
prom?
sex. Yeah, because I was off.
Smoking pot?
Yeah, and like fucking.
Bad mouth in your country, I'll bet. Listen to Mick Jagger music.
Then she banged my friend later, but that was the first night they messed around. But I was done. I was like, oh, you can go.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't know why. I didn't even like rent a car. I just cleaned my car and then just took her in my regular car to prom.
You're gutter trash.
I really am. I really fucking am.
I like this Soder kid.
I'm just fucking playing it all back. I'm like, oh, God.
I had the date where, she had to be home by, I think, midnight.
Okay.
It's been a few years. But I was allowed to pick her up again at like 6 in the morning. So I had to like take a 6-hour break.
Really?
While everyone else went to wherever. I don't know where they went because I couldn't go.
You didn't get a hotel room?
I'm trying to remember where they went. I think they went to like the beach or something for all night.
But you
and
should
I
have
had
got
the
a
date.
hotel for the next day.
No, I think then we caught up with everybody, if I remember correctly. But I had to take a 6-hour break because my date had to be home by, I believe, midnight. It was weird. But I think I was allowed to pick her up as soon as the sun came up or something.
That's a fucking really
So I think it was
weird rule.
before 6 I was allowed to go get her again. And then, it's before cell phones, so now we have to figure out where the fuck everybody is.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine, she was like, my friend was like, hey, I think I got a shot with your prom date. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's fine.
Well, have you heard my prom date story? So this was my summer girlfriend. And she was from somewhere else. And she's like, oh, I got to go home and see old friends and stuff. I'm like, all right, well, have fun, And then fast forward, I go to college.
Yeah.
And a guy that lived on my floor was talking about this girl. And he was from another town, not my town. And he goes, I went to the prom with this girl. And for some reason, I'm like, oh, can I see the picture? Because something didn't seem right. And it was the same girl I went to the prom with. What are the odds?
Oh.
So when she went home to visit or whatever it was.
She went to prom.
She went to another prom.
That's great.
And in the same dress.
Oh, fuck you.
So then I grabbed my picture that I was holding on very closely to because it was young memories, man.
Yeah.
I thought I was basically married to this girl, because you don't know shit back then. And then we both pull our pictures out, and it's like we had a good laugh over it.
Did you find out? Did you guys both fuck her?
No, I didn't.
But did he?
I didn't want to know.
Did.
He probably did.
Yeah.
He probably had better game.
He fucked her in the cunt mouth. As Bob, the security guard, would say, fucked her in the cunt mouth and ass.
I remember
But the big reveal, it was really funny, but my heart sank a little bit. Like,
Oh, of
fuck,
course.
man. I thought she was just going home to see some old friends.
That's childhood pain.
I thought it was weird because it was still the school year.
Her friend's dick and balls. She went and saw it. Fucked her in the cunt mouth and ass, as Bob would say.
Hands on the back sells the whole
The old
joke.
security guard. No, the old security guard. Had to fuck that Susan right in the cunt mouth and ass. His dirty teeth. He had fucking Pall Mall stains.
That old picture didn't have the same oomph to it after that.
Yeah, it probably fucking lost a lot of its luster.
It certainly did, Dan. It certainly did. It turned into like a black and white photo at that point.
My senior year, I met a girl at another school, and I wanted to take her to homecoming, and I asked her, and she said yes. And then a week before my homecoming dance, she goes, "Oh, by the way, I have a boyfriend now." And I was like,
God, so you're fucked.
Yeah. I was 0 for 2. 0 for 2.
We got Dr. Ruth coming in next week, 86 years old.
Yep.
Long-time sex
Boy, that
therapist.
lady talks about sex a lot.
Yes, she does. A little controversy. Dr. Ruth under fire over rape comments made on Diane Rem show. It's under fire after a recent interview in which she suggested that a woman's decision to say no in bed is null and void once her clothes are off.
Maybe she's probably saying she's old school. She's probably saying it's dumb.
You with that army hoodie, you look like you're going to shoot up an army base.
I'm in the army now. I am a military
I'm
guy.
in the army now.
Yeah.
So, little controversy.
Well,
there.
ask her about that. So, Dr. Ruth, what's going on with that comment?
With the rape? When's she on? Next week?
Shut it.
What does she say? I know it's controversial, but for your program, I'm going to stand up and be counted. And like I do in the book, be very honest. I'm very worried about college campuses saying that a woman and a man, or two men, or two women. But I talk right now about a woman and a man can be in bed together, Diane, and at one time naked, and at one time he or she, most of the time they think she can say, I changed my mind. No such thing is possible. So if you're naked in the bed and then you panic as a woman, it's too late. You can't say no.
No, she's probably.
What is she trying to say?
She's probably saying that's just a bad. Like it's a bad move to say no because it's like you're putting yourself at risk. That's what I'm going to guess she's saying. She's a dirty old slut. I don't like her.
Oh, she's quoting the scriptures though.
Dirty woman.
That's
Guy's a good woman.
In the Talmud, is that what is it called?
Shut it.
In the Talmud,
you need to be quiet.
In the Jewish tradition, it says when that part of the male anatomy is aroused and there's an erection, the brain flies out of that, and we have to take that very seriously. So I don't agree with
Talmud
that.
talks about a hard-on.
I guess.
That's delightful scripture.
Well, they're detailed. They're detailed people.
Okay, she explained to followers that she's 100% against rape. Well, thank God for that, Dr. Ruth.
Well, I'm 85. 100%. What a zealot.
However, if women don't want to have sex with a man, they shouldn't be naked in bed with him.
What?
That's bitch ain't wrong.
Well, I mean,
I killed a bitch.
I think a woman is allowed to say no after she is naked in a bed.
Yeah.
You're not happy about it at that point, but I think you got to understand.
Oh, attaboy.
Let's get the fuck out of here with a boom.
That's nice talk.
Boom, 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 boom.
I keep almost shitting my pants.
Want to thank John Cusack for stopping in. He was great.
What a gentle soul.
Go see Love and Mercy, the Brian Wilson film. Getting good reviews, great reviews. Dan Soder was great today. Thank you, Dan.
Thanks for having me.
I missed Dan. I haven't seen him in a while.
It's nice to see you.
Yeah, stop being a fucking stranger. Jesus.
Dude, I was gone. I was on the road and
no, it's about me.
I gotta leave again.
Really?
I'm gone for like the next 3 weeks.
Well, be safe.
But
Thank you.
You're one of those comics that just stays on the road. Most of the guys we know, they come back to New York for the during the week.
I'll come back for like sometimes a Monday or a Tuesday, but after Bonnaroo.
You'd rather be out there?
Well, it depends. Like I'm doing Denver, so I'm gonna go home.
Oh well, that
I'm gonna
makes
go see
sense.
family and friends.
No, but you do this a lot though. What do you do like Monday through Wednesday or Thursday when you're out on the road?
I'll do a one-nighter. Sometimes a college. I don't do colleges anymore.
None of you guys are doing colleges anymore, huh?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's not fun. It's not fun to do colleges anymore. They're just too fucking sensitive, and it's not fun.
Who's outside there with the photographers?
Jason Alexander. You better go out there, Travis. Did you get it?
You get it?
I will later.
No, go now. Go get it now.
What are you doing?
George! It's George! Georgie!
No, I'm not breaking protocol.
You gotta break protocol!
It's George.
You need fucking Costanza!
I was told to wait.
Travis,
You
go.
were told by him to wait?
No,
I was told by Spencer.
he might be done now,
okay.
though.
He's not done now. He's
he's
done
not
at
done now.
noon.
He's done.
at
Go
noon.
now.
Can everyone relax?
He's out.
He's gone.
He's gone.
Did I miss my chance?
You blew it. You need to go talk to that
Will you go? This is a biggie
Who
for
is
Travis.
this?
Go get your George picture.
damn
What is your name?
sinner.
Go get
Not
your
going.
pick.
I'm
I'll
going
be on
in an
Legion
hour
of
and a
Skank
half.
tonight.
Oh, yes,
Legion of
Jimmy.
Skanks tonight, 8:30.
Yes.
At Creek and Cave. I guess it's going out live on their YouTube page, whatever. If you want to check it out, it's like a long form thing. So it's not like a fucking 20-minute interview. It's like an hour and a half, whatever.
Yeah, they usually do 2 hours.
Okay, cool. Whatever. I'm off tomorrow.
Good
so
flautas.
Huh?
At the Creek in the Cave.
Is it?
Get good food.
Good food.
Oh, they have good food over there.
Caroline, September 17, 18, 19, and the Borgata, July 10, 11, if you want to see me. Or in Pittsburgh, June 26th. Who fucking cares?
I do.
Honestly.
Hey.
Go to iTunes, the Opie Radio podcast this week. It's the Jason Statham interview and some other stuff I think we squeezed in there. Does anyone know what else we put up there? Just subscribe to our podcast on iTunes. That would make us very happy, okay?
Go see me in Denver at Comedy Works, please. Or don't.
What about the stand? Does that matter?
Yeah, you should come out to the stand. If
Friday night?
If it's not already sold out, you should come out.
Great. Dan, it's always a pleasure.
Good seeing you
Dan.
guys.
Oh, take us out with a song. Something different today. What do you got? What do you want? What do you want the people to hear?
I'm listening to the new Florence and the Machine album. It's really good.
You got a song off that we might have in the system?
I don't think so. It's brand new.
Might be on the YouTube or the Vimeo. It might be on the Vimeo.
Ooh, let's do Motorhead. I've been listening to Motorhead a lot. Do you have I'll Be Your Sister? It's a good song.
I like Motorhead a lot.
No.
We got it over here. You got it, Travis? You want to play it over here?
No, Adrian's got it over there.
All right, let's play this. Dan, thank you. See you soon. Thanks, guys. Ronnie B does the show tomorrow, and we'll see you Monday. Thanks.